You are now entering Armbar Audio.
Hey there!
Oh, hello.
Welcome to another episode of Armbar Audio.
That's what the show's called.
I'm your host, Tim Farley. Next to me is my trusted companion.
It's me, John Kearns. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing today?
What are we doing today, John?
Today we're doing a little bit of a freestyle episode. It's our big comeback after the 2-week hiatus with you being busy as shit and me being almost dead.
Yes, John. What happened with you?
It was just some medical things that went awry. Wound up not being able to work for a week.
My man's almost went no legs.
No, that's, well, yeah.
But
all is well.
And I was in a homosexual wedding.
That's true. Yeah.
Which was awesome.
Your uncle's finally getting married after how long? 25 years?
Yep, it was their 25th anniversary, and they finally decided that was the time. And we couldn't have been happier. Because
it looked like a lot of fun from the pictures I saw.
I danced my ass off, brother, and I didn't even drink because I'm sober.
Straight edge now.
No, I still smoke cigarettes.
No, you don't. You do vape.
I smoke cigarettes.
Do you? Huh.
Yeah. I vape in the house.
Anyway, so what do you want to talk about here?
Well, John, over the course of time that we haven't been around, some things have happened, and we're going to talk about them. We have a wide array of topics today. But first, I wanted to tell you about the season premiere, season 3 premiere of Uncharted Territory, John. From Beyond Wrestling, John.
Boom.
And it was fantastic.
Talk about MLW as well.
Started off with they were real intergender heavy in the beginning, and I liked it. And I liked that they didn't call it intergender or anything. It was just two wrestlers. Wheeler Yuta came out, and he was doing an open challenge for non-title. Layla Hirsch came out and called him a bitch with no balls. So she got an IWTV Independent World Championship match right then and there, and it was fucking awesome. Yuta won. Then there was a great intergender tag team match with Matt Mikowski and Masha Slamovich going against Yokai, and that fucking ruled. Matt Mikowski is like, I mean, all four of them are going somewhere, but Matt Mikowski should be getting featured more. The guy is insane with his transitions. There was Jordan Blue was there in a 6-man match. She would team with Trisha Dora and her partner.
Is she the one that
Kings of the District?
The Twitter handle is Daddy of the District?
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
I know her.
That was good. And then they're doing a tag team gauntlet, and it was the main event against 9 to 5. And I've never seen either team, but the main event is something you would get behind. I fuck with it very heavy. They won. We got Chris Dickinson against
Love Dirty Daddy,
the one called Manders, in a badass hoss fight. And
SGC,
Alec Price came out and said because he beat Dickinson, he's now the man and beyond, and he's going to be wrestling Josh Alexander next week. So then the main event, we had Daniel Garcia against Alex Shelley, and it fucking ruled, dude. Daniel Garcia is so fucking good. That's why people like CM Punk and Minoru Suzuki want to wrestle him. But
in my opinion, he's going to be the next guy.
Yeah. Well,
he's going to be the next guy like that gets talked about the way Daniel Bryan used to.
Yeah. Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, Bryan Danielson.
Whatever the fuck his name is. Anyway, while they were wrestling, Yuta was out there watching. And Yuta defended the title against Daniel Garcia in a draw, I believe it was, but it was one of the best matches of the year at IWTV 100. And he was watching because he was defending the title this weekend at IWTV Untitled against Shelley. And Shelley ended up winning. So I'm expecting to see more Wheeler Utah on AEW. But also caught up with some MLW. They went to Philly like
Fightland, right?
like a month ago, and it was a huge event. But they took the two main events and put it on Vice this past Thursday, and the first match was for the middleweight world championship. You had Tajiri of All Japan, and
I saw he's the new middleweight champ. That's awesome.
Yeah, against Aries, Aramis, and the champion Myron Reed, and Tajiri won by misting and head kicking Myron Reed. But this was like a GCW scramble match, but a little bit more controlled since there wasn't like 6 people, and Tajiri really picked his spots. Like while the Luchadors and Myron Reed were going hog wild, you could see him standing outside and looking at the crowd like I'm not getting involved in this shit. And then the main event is something that has been building for a very long time, probably like over a year. The national openweight champion, Alexander Hammerstone, against the world heavyweight champion, Hail Contra, the Samoan werewolf, Jacob Fatu. And John,
one of our boys,
you have to watch this match.
I know I do. I know.
This match is the best match I've seen of either men have. And it was just awesome. Like, super, super good. Alexander Hammerstone won, and that leads me to think that maybe Fatu's MLW contract is coming up. His brother just got signed to WWE, and he was on our show talking about how he got calls from AEW and WWE.
Yeah, he's also him and Juicy for now have a tag team match coming up at a GCW event.
Yeah,
sometime soon.
Probably against Starboy and
against Dickinson and Starboy.
Yeah,
so he's got stuff going on.
Yeah, but the
werewolf.
These two shows were awesome. You could check out Uncharted Territory on IWTV. You could check out Fightland on Vice. And maybe MLW will upload it to their YouTube. Also, during Fightland, they did a really cool segment hosted by Alicia Atut with Raj Giri, a couple other insiders, and Dave Meltzer. And they talked about wrestling outside of MLW. They talked about WWE, AEW, all this stuff. And they talked about like who's going to be next to go to AEW. They talked about if WWE is looking to sell.
So sort of like a
I think it was sort of immersion.
Sort of like a wrestling sports center.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And it was really fucking cool to see. I liked it a lot. But yeah.
You want to move on to our next topic of discussion?
Yes, sir.
Talking about those new signings that the Jacksonville brand have made.
Yeah. Jacksonville or Chicago, whatever you want to call it.
That's Jacksonville.
Uh,
if we call the Fed New York, we got to call AEW Jacksonville, or just call it Florida. Who fucking knows?
Yeah. Yeah, we wanted to talk about AEW, most specifically the new signees, how they've been booked, and I have something else I want to talk about with AEW that I haven't told John yet, but we'll get there.
Fancy.
So, let's talk about how these 4 have been booked so far. CM Punk comes in. He's happy to be back. He wants to help the younger talent. He's glad that the younger talent have life and vigor. And so far, we've seen 3 different matches.
Right.
Different styles. And Punk has won all 3 of them. And I'm sure there's people out there who are like, why, blah, blah, blah. Out of the losses, all 3 of those guys got shine and they got to learn more.
Yeah.
and it was big moments for them. I'm sure if you interviewed them, they would not care if they won or lost.
No.
Now, the Darby match was good. They had then he had that little spiff with Team Taz, and he wrestled Hobbs. It seemed like they were going to tease Hook
Him and
and
Hook.
Ricky Starks, because he even called out Ricky Starks. But then they did a swerve, and he talked about how Everrise and Daniel Garcia tried to take away him coming back by attacking him before the Darby match.
Yeah.
And I was watching Rampage, and I was like, God, just let Daniel Garcia shine. Like, I don't want this to be a squash. I don't want him to be booked differently than how I've seen him on the indies. And it was great. He targeted the leg. He did his submissions. He was awesome. And I'm really happy about it.
I am too. I'm all in on happy to be there, CM Punk.
Yeah.
I'm all in. A lot of people don't like. Well, I don't even know if a lot of people don't like it, but enough that CM Punk knows it's a thing. You know what I mean?
He's a polarizing figure because he's not as full of himself as Austin Aries is, but he has his integrity.
Right.
And, that pisses loyalists off.
But yeah, Punk has been booked fantastically. I'm just excited for whatever happens with him. Moving on to Miss Ruby Soho. Ruby Soho has also been booked very well, but not featured as heavily yet. The match with Britt Baker at Grand Slam was fantastic.
Absolutely.
It was one of the top
female matches of AEW.
Top female matches. I don't know what number to give it. Top 5, I guess.
Yeah.
Come up with 5. But definitely up there. Right up there with like Shayna and Rose. Statlander and Baker was fantastic. Like
Rosa and Baker was
Rosa and Baker was the best one so far. But Ruby Soho has given some vigor to the AEW women's division that has been missing. And it's something that everybody talks about. Everybody talks about the missteps that have been made with the women's division. And Ruby's arrival so far and build, and something that we're going to talk about in a little bit, is working to right those wrongs, I feel.
And if you only watched her in WWE and you saw the Rampage before the Grand Slam week, you would have never known that she could work a mic like that.
Yeah.
That fucking promo between her and Baker was incredible. And I like that she won the Battle Royal and she became the challenger, and I like that she lost.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's something else coming up that she may be doing.
Yep. Adam Cole, baby. So, everybody... Adam Cole was the one that everybody didn't think was going to happen.
Which is kind of dumb. Because his best friends and his girl of many a year worked there.
The people that didn't think it was going to happen were just like the fucking E-drones trying to rain on everybody's parade. But this man shows up and immediately rejoins the Elite, which obviously, if he's going to be there and not be part of the Elite, why is he there? He has brought back the fun, sort of tongue-in-cheek personality that the Elite was sort of lacking. Not really.
He's upped it up.
But he's upped it up.
That whole spot where they kiss him on the cheek,
it's hilarious.
It's hilarious, and we love it. And there's so many people on the
that
internet
piss it off.
who are
that
so
it
angry.
pisses off, but that just makes it better.
Yeah.
But
all gay wrestling having orgies in the ring.
Yeah.
Dude, I've seen so much stupid shit.
Oh, we're going to talk about some stupid fucking
But do you know what I love
with our next
about
topic.
Adam Cole is that his first feud was with Jungle Boy.
Yeah.
And I like that he had the cheek to win. And they have really good chemistry, and I like this alliance that's forming to battle the Elite.
Yeah.
Like we'll talk about with our next subject, Bryan Danielson. Okay. Bryan Danielson said on the night that he came, Punk's out here saying that he's here to help and he's so happy to be here. He said, I'm happy to be here too, but I'm here to kick ass. And the man has not stopped. They
just dropped Bryan Danielson versus Daniel Garcia for, I think, Dynamite next week.
No, Bobby Fish.
Yeah. Bryan Danielson and Bobby Fish.
Yeah.
Oh!
Gonna be good. I think they should build Daniel Garcia a little bit more and sign him,
get him in there,
and then do that. But Bryan Danielson, his match with Omega was one of my match of the year contenders for sure. I loved that it went to a draw. He has been exactly who we know him to be. He's not starting the yes chants or the no's, but the crowd's still doing it. So WWE can't get mad at him.
And they finally did the "you're gonna get your fucking head kicked in" chant.
Yeah, and he used the cattle mutation to beat Nick, and I don't know, that's
that match
awesome.
rolled too.
And then Punk used
the Anaconda Vice
and the pile driver, which was fucking awesome. But yeah, I think all four of these individuals are going to take AEW farther. I think they're going to help the roster
to that next level.
And another thing with Adam Cole is, and I've said this for years since he joined WWE, if Adam Cole was more muscular, he would have been Universal Champion a year or two ago. But now he's in a place where it doesn't matter where he looks, what he looks like. He could be world champion. I think that's fantastic.
Because he's not in Vince land.
Now, speaking about Ruby Soho and what we were going to talk about.
Yes.
There was a big announcement from AEW. Some were thinking trios titles. Some were thinking European tour. Some were thinking all kinds of things. But we got the TBS Championship, which will be the mid-card title for the women's division. And I think it's awesome because, people are complaining that it looks too much like the TNT title. It's supposed to. There's going to be a tournament. Announced have been Jade Cargill, Sky Blue, Ruby.
Yeah.
Who else? Who else was talking? Yeah, but I would like to see Ruby win this, but the way that they're pushing Jade Cargill right now, shit, man, I don't know.
Jade,
but you know who else I would love?
Jade is another one that I want to talk about. Jade has really grown on me.
I would love to see it on Tay.
Yeah, Ty Conti.
Tainara Conti, man. Tay is babe, bro.
A lot of people throwing Nyla Rose's name into that ring as well.
Nyla Rose is already established. I mean, Thunder Rosa. I think Thunder Rosa spoke.
Yeah.
So there's that. And Britt Baker's promo is fantastic about it too. Like how she was like, now all of you people who can't beat me can strive for something because you're never gonna get this.
Right.
And that was great. But John,
you know what I think would be cool? I think it would be really cool if AEW adopted from Impact the Option C rule.
Right.
That would be awesome.
Is it called Option C or is it called
Option C or Option 3 or something?
Option C.
Option
I was
C.
thinking X because of the X Division title.
But no, but it's where in Impact, it's where if you win the X Division title, you're allowed to relinquish it in return for a world title shot.
Which Josh Alexander will be doing at Bound for Glory this month.
And I think it would be really cool if you could cash in the TNT or TBS title for a respective title shot. Maybe down the road, it's not going to be a now thing.
See, now, I like mid-card lineages.
Yeah.
Like, when they matter. And so far, the TNT title has mattered.
Yeah.
Like the old Intercontinental days. The Intercontinental title with in New Japan with Nakamura, Goto, Naito, really establishing it as something. But, maybe like a one-off type of deal. Like someone holds one of those titles for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Because the TNT title has already changed hands like 4 or 5 times. So like,
which is fine.
But let's say Sammy holds this title for over a year. He should be able to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of
that would be cool if it had like a time thing.
Yeah.
That'd be an interesting uniqueness to it.
I agree. But John, I was reading online.
We want to talk about some.
Hold on. I was reading online.
Yeah.
And some people were talking about the roster of AEW.
Yeah.
And someone made a valid point.
Yeah.
That everybody who had left WWE and went to AEW are in the same roles in AEW that they were in WWE. And they talked about how Pac and Andrade were fighting for titles, but they didn't get them.
Yeah.
They talked about how Danielson and Punk were at the top. They talked about Miro being a mid-carder, this, that, the other. And I was like, yeah, but there's something about this post that's not sitting well with me. And I'll tell you exactly what. But I'll give you a chance to guess.
No, just tell me. I don't know.
Well, do you agree with that?
I agree that it's factual, but I don't agree that it's bad.
And here's the reason why. In AEW, everything means something.
Everything matters.
It all matters.
Yeah.
We are seeing promos, matches that matter on all of these individuals. Whereas in WWE, the mid-card titles don't mean shit.
No.
You see the same thing over and over. Who knows if they get promo time? You know what I mean? So, like, maybe they are in the same position, but they are not being treated
the same
or
way.
presented the same way. Now,
we're talking about some bad takes.
I want you to talk about it because you've been very vocal. And I haven't really seen them. You have.
I want to see if I can find the tweet that I made that I responded to. So just talk about him being there for a minute.
So Bobby Fish, they talked about the forbidden door being broken down. But Bobby Fish didn't really sign with anyone yet. There were rumblings of him signing with MLW, but apparently he hasn't. But he called out Sammy Guevara on Twitter the night that he won. And Guevara said, yeah, during Roads to the Top premiere. So we got Bobby Fish against Sammy Guevara this past week. And it was a good match. It was great to see Bobby alone. It was great to see him pull things out that we may have not seen in NXT, like that Falcon Arrow off the top.
Yeah.
And I loved how he kept countering Guevara off the top with leg kicks. Yeah, go ahead, John.
So the one tweet that I saw, and there were many similar tweets, but this one struck me in a different way. The person says, Bobby Fish being signed proves to me without a doubt that they'll pick up anyone WWE releases, because I really do not get where he fits or why he's there.
Now, I saw another tweet that said out of 117 wrestlers that they have gotten rid of this year, the AEW has only signed like
11.
Yeah.
And can we talk about that number? That WWE has released 117 wrestlers this year, and the shows don't look any different.
The only one that does is NXT 2.0.
The only one that does.
And I still don't know how I feel about it. I think there's good and there's bad. But
well, the good is Braun Breaker.
well, not just him, but they're pushing younger.
There's a lot of
cool
new people, yeah.
And I love Mandy Rose's group.
But yeah, so that's. But
so go ahead.
This tweet. The only thing that this tweet says to me is that this person doesn't know what Ring of Honor is, doesn't know what New Japan Pro Wrestling is, doesn't know what independent scene is. Like, I am so sick of this narrative or this idea that these people's careers begin in WWE.
Begin and end
in WWE. Because it hasn't been that way for decades. Everybody that's...
Well, it's been that way for decades.
What do you mean?
WWE had no mainstream competition since WCW.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying.
So you got all these brainwashed goons who don't really know how wrestling is.
And like...
Where does he fit in? He's a tag team specialist. He won the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles like 7 fucking times. He's been a force in ROH and NXT. He could teach so much to the younger guys.
If he wanted to, the man could run a wrestling school.
Absolutely.
And he's using the Red Dragon theme song in AEW, which made me so happy. Yeah, exactly. So when is Kyle's contract up? But no. But yeah, it's just...
The other thing I saw was...
It's just
they passed up Buddy Matthews and signed Bobby Fish. We don't know what their plans are for Buddy Matthews.
We don't know what Buddy Matthews' plans are.
Yeah, you can't take everything you read from a shitty wrestling news site.
Like that news?
I don't know what it was, but I've read a lot of stuff that wasn't real, and you guys out there need to start being more discerning with what you put in your brain.
Well, it's all that fake news going around,
Jesus. But yeah, but
Bobby Fish being part of AEW is nothing but positive.
There is one problem with AEW right now for me. Rampage, since it started, every week they've been losing viewership. Friday nights at 10 p.m. People are getting ready for the weekend. They probably got off work a little bit earlier. They want to go out. They want to get drunk. They want to do whatever. Go out with their family, their wife, their husband, this and that. If you're younger, their demographic is 18 to 40-year-old males, right? That's like their key demo. Most of those people are going to have Friday night plans. Yeah. And the show's only 1 hour, which they have utilized.
It's a good hour.
Very good. Like,
it's a damn good
You get a lot in that hour, and it doesn't feel congested. Yeah. But they need to move Rampage to a different night and a different time.
And I know that
The only people who are watching television at 10 p.m. on a Friday are people like my mother who want to watch NCIS or Blue Bloods.
yeah, I never watch, and not even just because of my job, but I don't think I would ever watch Rampage live. I'd always watch. I usually watch it Saturday.
Right. I only watch it live because I'm working.
Yeah,
And if
there's nothing
that
else,
time
there's
frame,
nothing going on.
if in that time frame nobody's getting wild and they're all asleep, I can watch it. But like,
and I know that it's really convenient to do it the way that they're doing it, and it makes sense to do it the way they're doing it, and doing it.
But it should be live.
And doing 2 live shows that way is a huge pain in the ass. It's got to be. But the crowds are dead.
Yeah.
The crowds are absolutely dead. This week, the crowd was hot for Punk and Garcia.
And the tag match.
The tag
match.
They did not give a fuck about that Starks and Cage match.
Neither did I.
I only gave a shit because it was a street fight and I like hardcore.
Yeah. Brian Cage does nothing for me. I've never said that out loud.
Well, and it sucks because
but that's
for
how
me,
I feel.
he used to.
To me, it's just like I saw him when he was in PWG, like early PWG.
I love him in Impact.
And I saw how skinny he was. And it's so fucking apparent that the guy does roids. And
yeah, but
I know that shouldn't affect how I feel, but it does. The other thing is, I understand why Ricky Starks is the head of Team Taz.
Yeah.
Because he is a star. But Brian Cage needs the mouthpiece more.
So much more.
But, CM Punk had Paul Heyman and he didn't need a mouthpiece. It's just what works and what doesn't. And I don't think Brian Cage...
Yeah, and...
I don't think Brian Cage works in AEW.
And CM Punk and Paul Heyman worked. And Starks and Taz work. But... I don't think Cage fits. I think... And I know everybody wants more big guys to be in AEW, but... I don't know how necessary that is. I really don't.
I mean,
I don't know how much of a necessity that is.
Honestly, John, okay, if you are a first-time wrestling watcher,
right,
and you see Brian Cage, do you honestly believe in any company aside from WWE that someone can beat him?
No.
Right. So if he's not, he doesn't look believable to beat. What worth is there? Number one. Number two, if you aren't a first-time watcher and you followed Brian Cage's career, do you think that they booked him well up until this point?
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not.
And
they shit the bed. He shit the bed. It's all a bunch of shit on the bed.
And it really sucks because AEW knocks almost everything else out of the park.
99.9%.
Yeah. But I think Cage just worked so much better in Impact than he is in AEW.
Yeah.
And I loved Cage in Lucha Underground.
Oh, yeah. That's the best he's ever been. In the Lucha Underground setting,
everything about Cage makes sense.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, but that's all I got for that.
That's all we got for AEW.
But Bobby Fish is fucking rad, and people need to recognize Bobby Fish. The only fucking reason anybody thinks he's shit is because they're WWE fans, and the poor bastard was plagued by injuries his entire run there.
Yeah. And whenever they decided to split him and Kyle up, they just had him be a jobber. Which made no fucking sense.
They had him either.
He was in the fucking biggest group of their entire fucking NXT career. Like
they had him either being a jobber or doing fucking nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's time for a new segment,
Yes.
led by my man here.
Now, you guys know that I do Inside the Indies. I was going to do this show called Strong Stylings. As you can see, the lettering is made up of all the factions of New Japan and Stardom.
Which is really cool.
Yeah. Thank you to Dean, who runs Podscure.
It's right there.
But the thing is, I'm really busy. John's really busy.
We're busy boys.
And Inside the Indies has gotten a lot of good feedback and watches. Thank you for that. But we're gonna start doing these freestyles more often, and Strong Stylings
just throwing topics at the wall.
Yeah, Strong Stylings will be a segment within these freestyles. Now, I know there was also a lot of people talking about other Puro companies and Joshi companies.
This first.
Yeah, you're gonna end it. So, we got some in there too. There we go. So tomorrow is a big Noah show called Grand Square in Osaka. But this past week we saw the Noah N1 Victory Finals, and they were it was a fucking great show. Like top to bottom. But the semifinal matches, as you can see here, was Keno, the leader of Congo, or Keno, sorry, the leader of Congo against Kaito Kiyomiya, and the Pancrase legend.
I almost wanted to call this. I almost wanted to call this guy Tomoshi Hiragi. I almost wanted to call it.
Masakatsu Funaki against Katsuhiko Nakajima. These two matches fucking rolled. And I was like, wow, how's the final going to play out? Now, Kiyomiya has been on a downward spiral. He's their young ace, but he hasn't been getting it done. He's recently changed his gear. His hair is dark. Keno, his match with Keno was really good. Keno was really good, but Keno ended up stealing it with like a roll-up. Funaki and Nakajima is exactly what you would expected. Just like, kicks, punches, slaps, this, that, and the third. But Nakajima ended up winning. And then Nakajima, member of Congo, against Keno in the final was one of my matches of the year. They beat the piss out of each other. And ever since I started watching Noah a couple of years ago, I have been high on the Nakajima train. I've been riding that motherfucker. And I'll ride it till the wheels fall off. He's like Noah's version of Naito, but kind of harder. And Keno is also a very polarizing figure. It was just a great match. So tomorrow night, or tonight, as it were, Noah's Grand Square. I'm only going to talk about the top card. We're getting also on that show, you had Segura Gun against M's Alliance. It was Muto, Mochizuki, and
it's right there.
No, it's a different.
That's not it.
And someone else against Segura, Sakuraba, and Fujita, and Tanaka. Tanaka was on Muta's team, and they fucking killed it, man. They fucking killed it. And I tweeted out, I said it might hurt people's feelings, but Noah's wrestle grandfathers are way leagues above New Japan's. But it makes sense. Aside from Tanahashi and Ishii, I mean, I would much rather see these guys wrestle than Togi Makabe, fucking Hanma, fucking Taguchi, Tenzan. And I'd watch those 6 men over Kojima as well. But it kind of makes sense because New Japan has been focusing a lot on their younger talent.
Yeah.
But so on 10/10, whenever you watch this, it happened on October 10th. We got Segura, Fujita, and Kendo Kashin against Masakatsu, Funaki, Tanaka, and Mochizuki. I'm looking forward to that. The GHC Junior Tag Team Championships, Atsushi Kote. I heard it the other day, but I don't remember.
Atsushi Kitoge?
Katoge and Hajime Ohara against Nosawa, Rongai, and Aita.
Aita. I like Aita.
I love Aita.
Yeah.
I love that Aita and Nosawa are in a stable called Perros del Mar de Japón.
Awesome.
I think it's perfect.
Is that Dogs of Hell?
Yeah, it's like Paraguayo Junior's group in CMLL or whatever. Taya Valkyrie was part of it. But I love it because,
Most Carbonoblis.
Exactly. Yeah. And Ida's the perfect guy to do it.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm really hoping that
him and Naito could be a tag team and everybody would just say, yeah.
Yeah. I really hope that they dethrone the champions, but from what I saw, because it was Aita against Katage at the N1 Victory Finals, the other team is quite good. Then we have the Junior Heavyweight Championship, Hayata against Daisuke Harada. I want Hayata to win. We got a special tag team match, Keiji Muto and Sakuraba against Keno and Kaito Kiyomiya. And this all has to do with what happened during the N1. I imagine now Kiyomiya's downward spiral started when Muta beat him. So I'm thinking this is where Kiyomiya's redemption starts. Then the heavyweight championship, Nakajima, who won the N1 against Marufuji. And that match is going to fucking roll. So if you're into hard-hitting fucking wrestling, you should probably watch this show. Noah's Grand Square 2021 in Osaka.
Get some pro wrestler going.
Now, on to Joshi.
Stardom.
Now, I have wanted to...
Is that this?
Yes. I wanted to watch as much as I could. And right now, I'm working on a lot of stuff personally. And don't worry about that because it's all going very good. But the matches that I did see from the Grand Prix, 5-star Grand Prix, were fantastic. Syuri is now, in my eyes, the best wrestler in the world. And she's similar to Shingo in New Japan, where all of her matches are worth watching.
Yeah.
Or they're like good to great. Momo Watanabe had a great tournament. Julia ended up getting hurt halfway through, which sucked.
I'm sorry.
We had Takumi Aroha again of Marvelous, and she put some numbers on the board. Starlight Kid ended up winning the high-speed title off of Natsupoi in a great match. The final day is definitely something you should watch. You should also watch Azumi and Konami. Konami against Utami. Mayu and Starlight. Let's see. Konami, yeah, I said that one. Saya Kamatani and Maika. Maika was like the Ishii of this tournament, where she may have lost, but like she was the people's MVP. Saya Kamatani and Takumi Aroha was good. Konami and Syuri Takumi and Tam. If you watch Stardom, you know who's gonna make the good stuff.
Right.
Now, my friend Michael Jargo of the Hitting the Marks and the Destino podcast sent me some stuff to read. Thank you to him. The Syuri ended up beating Momo to win the tournament, but the Momo had 12 points, Syuri had 12 points. Behind them in the red block, we had Mayu with 11, Kaguma with 11, Starlight Kid with 11, Himeka with 10, Death, Fukigen Death with 10, Natsupoi with 9, Julia with 6, and Saki Kashima with 4. In the blue block, behind Syuri, we had Saya Kamatani with 11, Takumi Aroha with 11, Konami at 10, Utami at 10, Tam with 10, Micah at 9, Unagi with 9, Azumi with 8, and Ruaka with 0. And I believe Ruaka just won the Future of Stardom Championship, which is cool. Now, they announced after the tournament that on October 9th, Aroha would face Utami. Utami won that, and that means that Utami will wrestle Syuri again on December 29th at Sumo Hall for the red belt. And, these girls have put on wars in the past year and a half, and I can't call it. Because if Utami wins, then she has gotten the monkey off of her back. Yeah. But if Syuri wins, she is legitimized as, people look at Julia and people look at Utami and people look at Mayu. People are starting to look real hard at Syuri. And I feel like if she won, it would just solidify her. So I can't call that. Tam Nakano at the end of the tournament named Mayu Iwatani as her next challenger. They wrestled on October 9th as well and went to a draw. So Jargo's overall tournament rating, he put 8 out of 10. Stardom continues to fire through 2021, making their very strong case for promotion of the year. Smart booking throughout the tournament. Nothing too off the wall, but in an era of emergency, there's nothing wrong with playing things safe with the booking and just presenting a solid, logical product, showcasing the finest in women's wrestling anywhere in the world. Agreed. Nothing incredibly high, nothing incredibly low, but an incredibly solid effort from the whole roster. Julia's injury could be the biggest story of the tournament and certainly hurt the star power of some of those middle sets of shows. Thank you, Jargo, for that.
Something very similar happened.
All of the stuff that I've watched so far from that tournament was fantastic. I'm going to catch that Osaka-jo Hall show pretty soon with Aroha against Utami and Tam versus Mayu. So I'll probably talk about that the next time we talk about strong stylings. But, John, there's just so much wrestling right now, so much good wrestling right now.
So many tournaments.
What's the big tournament that's still going?
King of the Ring.
King of the Ring?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
They just announced the...
in the Queen's Crown?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we don't talk about that shit.
Good ideas. I don't give a fuck. Good idea.
No, we don't give a fuck.
I'm talking about, well, you know me. No. We're going to talk about the G1 Climax, my friend. You talked about Julia suffering an injury, and it's kind of hurting the star power of those shows. Shockingly similar situation with the A block of the G1 Climax.
After a fucking 5-star match.
Which, obviously, because it was Naito and Zack Sabre Jr. But Tetsuya Naito suffered a knee injury in his match with ZSJ, resulting in Naito having to withdraw from the tournament. All of his future tournament matches were declared forfeits on Naito's part. So pretty much everybody
got an extra point
on night one. No, well, everybody got an extra 2 points.
Yeah.
So everybody got an extra 2 points. I said on our G1 preview that it would be really cool if this was Zach's year. And the boy's only gone and bloody done it, almost. But
he has a case for a championship match even if he doesn't win the G1.
That's true, because he defeated Shingo Takagi.
Exactly.
Clean.
Who else did he beat, John?
ZSJ has gone over on
Naito, Shingo,
Great Khan,
who was also at the time lossless.
Kota Ibushi,
fucking Ibushi,
Yujiro, but that's obvious.
Yeah.
Takagi, Naito, but he's the one that actually beat him. And little motherfucker. So ZSJ was riding high with 10 points going into the most recent installment of A Block. And I wrote on Twitter, I think this is Zach's year. I think it's finally Zach's turn.
Someone said something else.
And somebody said that Kenta still has a chance to get in there. And so does Ibushi. He's not completely eliminated. But, and I was like, Kenta does still have a chance to get in there, but if Zach beats Kenta, it's over.
What happened?
Well, the little motherfucker beat him.
Kenta's been
I was so pissed.
Kenta's been real funny in this tournament.
He has, and I love Kenta, but I was legitimately upset.
Right. Well, you're a big Saber, Mark, and that's understandable. Zack Sabre Jr.
What's happening, baby?
Zack Sabre Jr. is also trying to kick down that forbidden door.
Yeah.
Because he called out Bryan Danielson.
He did.
He said, I beat the Rampage Dragon. Where's the American one? And I think he called him a bitch, too.
Probably. A bitch or a prick or a numpty or
now, I saw also Tomatanga, okay?
Well, I before we get into B Block, I want to give the rundown.
Sure.
The current standings of the A Block, and there's still a few dates to go. You got Kota Ibushi at the top at 12 points. ZSJ and Kenta are tied at 10.
With Shingo,
yeah. Kenta, ZSJ, and Shingo are all tied at 10. I don't think Kenta lost to Takagi, but beat ZSJ.
ZSJ beat Takagi, but lost to Kenta.
So, yeah. So that's pretty much a 4-way tie or a 3-way tie, like legitimately. All tied at 8. You have Great Khan, Tomohiro Ishii, and Toru Yano, and pretty much mathematically eliminated are Yujiro and Tonga Loa.
Now I talked about
Naito has 0 because obviously he's
on our G1 preview. I talked about wanting to see more out of Tonga Loa.
Yeah,
Tonga Loa's match with
but
Ishii,
even in loss, we have been.
Yeah, Tonga Loa's match with Ishii is worth watching.
Yeah,
definitely. Ibushi started off like he starts off every year, and he lost his first match, but it was just insane because it was huge.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? But
huge was a person.
Talking about B Block, and I said in the preview it was going to come down to 2 guys. Now read that off, bro.
Well, they're Jeff Cobb and Kazuchika Okada are tied at 12 points.
That's right.
Evil is at 10.
Ugh.
Hiroshi Tanahashi is at 6. 4-way tie with 4 points with Sonata, Taichi, Yoshihashi, and Hiroki Goto. Tomatanga and Chase Owens are both tied at 2.
Now Chase
is another one right now who, even in loss, is showing more than he ever has.
And he beat
Ever.
Tanahashi.
And he beat Tanahashi.
And then
Chase Owens over Tanahashi was the big shock of B Block.
there was
Because
another
there's a shock
one.
win in every tournament.
There was another shock that Tanahashi lost recently. I want to say it was Yoshihashi because I don't know who else would shock me.
No, so far he's only lost.
Oh, he lost to Evil.
He lost to Evil.
Exactly. Like what is this? When is this Evil project going to end?
I'm real sick of it.
Like he has potential, but you're making him do the same thing for a fucking year. Why? Why? Now, I want to talk about somebody in B Block
But yeah.
that I have mixed feelings on. Tomatanga. The first night of B Block, him and Sonata were fucking incredible.
Oh, hell yeah.
And Tomatanga has everything that it takes to be a single star.
Yeah.
He can talk. He can wrestle.
He can talk
And
that
he looks
shit
good.
and walk that walk.
Now, before the G1, we saw at New Japan Resurgence, finally, GOD, especially Tomatanga, came out and ran off Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. The boy stays talking shit. Now, you would think that his focus would be on the G1 since he's in it. And if he's going to feud with someone outside the G1, it would be Anderson, like he's been doing. But he said some stuff about Jay White. He said he's the real leader. Jay White, at one of the New Japan Strong tapings, like the Autumn Attack or whatever,
Yeah.
he said, don't get it twisted, I'm still the leader, this and that. And Tama wrote on Twitter, we brought you in and we can take you out or something like that.
What's true?
I don't understand why Tomatanga has to speak on everything. Why does he have to do so much all the time? Like, feud with the Good Brothers. Focus on G1. Why are you making a problem with Jay White? Like, you have the House of Terror sub-faction in Bullet Club. Does that not upset you? No, he doesn't make sense to me. You know? What did Jay White ever do to make the Tongans of all people dislike him? Because from what I
don't understand.
From what I understood, God, Fale,
they were the three.
they were behind Jay.
That were
What? They're mad that he's in America. Get over it.
I do wish he was in the G1.
I have a feeling Jay White may turn Bullet Club down. Like he'll be the one. He'll defect. He won't get kicked out. He'll just be like, "Fuck you. I don't need you. I'm the king."
I'm still upset about Zack Sabre Jr. Especially because
he could still win it.
He could, but his last two matches are against Tonga Loa, which should be easy for him. But then fucking Yano, and I know that they're probably going to have Yano go over on Zack Sabre Jr. because.
Well, what are Kenta's?
Because haha, it's funny when Zack gets mad at Yano.
What are Kenta's?
What's Kenta got going on? Kenta has to fight Ibushi, Tonga Loa, and that's it.
So they're still gonna be tied. Because Ibushi's gonna beat Kenta.
Ibushi will probably beat Kenta, and he'll definitely beat Tonga Loa.
But who does Ibushi have other than Kenta?
Ibushi has. That's his last match.
No, then maybe Kenta beats him. I don't know.
But if Kenta and
what about
Zack tie,
Shingo? Because Shingo's in that three-way tie as well.
If Kenta and Zack tie, Kenta's going to go over. Takagi still has Great Khan and Huge. So Huge will be easy.
Obito Khan.
Great Khan, yeah.
Most likely. So then, now Shingo beat Ibushi, right?
No, Ibushi beat Shingo.
Ibushi beat Shingo.
Yeah.
Sabre beat Shingo.
And Sabre beat Shingo, but
he beat Kenta.
He beat Kenta.
Yes, because he said that hilarious picture.
Yeah.
Now that I beat you, maybe you could change your name to Hideo Itami.
Yeah.
Hilarious. But yeah, the G1 has been, solid so far.
We're getting into the part that I love, where the math comes into play.
Yeah. So that's it for this segment of Strongest Stylings.
Strongest Stylings. I should have said that.
Give a shit.
Me? Damn it. I give lots of shits. Oh, I keep hitting the wrong thing. Go away.
It's because you're rusty, man. We've been off for a week and a half.
I know, dude. But you wanted me to recount my escapades.
Yes.
I recently attended, and by recently, I mean fucking yesterday, attended Enjoy Wrestling's Night Moves at the Grand Hall here in good old Pittsburgh, PA. It was headlined by Enjoy champion MV Young defending the title against Max the Impaler in a street fight, a Pittsburgh street fight.
Oh, shit. Surprised someone made it out alive.
Yeah, I cannot disclose any results because we were asked not to. Because these are going to air on YouTube. But
I just want you to talk about the experience.
No, yeah, I know. So I'm going to throw up some of our pictures here. So I finally got to meet Effie in person. I saw Effie in person, and it was amazing.
He met Daddy.
I met Daddy. If you go to our TikTok account, we're going to be uploading some clips there. I filmed Effie's entrance because, of course, he used Goodbye Yellow Brick Road.
We also have pictures on Instagram as well.
Pictures on Instagram, yes. So I got me and Effie. Mom wanted to meet Effie.
Of course.
Mom rocked Armbar audio gear, which was rad. And then I got me and Mom there with MV Young. Finally got to meet MV in person, which was awesome. And if I get rid of the... Stop. No. I gotta move up. Gotta scooch up. If I get rid of these, and then we got me and Michaela there, new social media liaison that we have.
You may have seen her on the Gooniverse.
You may have, yeah, with the My Hero reviews, which are coming back. Don't worry.
Yes,
we're bringing it. But yeah, so that's us and Edith Surreal. Edith Surreal and Ziggy Hyam had a mask versus hair match, which was awesome, which featured a fucking insane double table spot, which was awesome. I can't wait for you to see it. And then we got Facade and Danny Moe there, which was great to run into him again and meet her for the first time.
Yeah.
It was a good time. It was a really good time. Mom had a blast. The granddad, Chief, had a blast. Chief got a big kick out of Effie.
Which is wild.
Enjoyed Effie.
Just when you think Chief, he just veers a little, and you're like, huh.
Well, he loves goofy shit, and Effie's goofy.
Right.
He really enjoyed the corner spot where he repeatedly thrusts his private parts into the face of the opponent.
Now, hold on. I want you to tell the story, but I want to preface it.
Yeah.
We told Chief, his grandfather, that we interviewed Effie and that he worked for GCW. Yes. And we also told him that he's the most prominent LGBTQIA plus performer.
One of them, yeah.
Yeah. And for the longest time, your grandfather thought GCW stood for.
Yeah, so, and we had to tell, yeah, I'm going to get there. So, he thought that GCW stood for Gay Championship Wrestling.
And he didn't mean anything bad by it.
He didn't mean anything bad by it. He just thought that's what it was. So, we went up and I talked to Effie, reminded him who I was, and he was very excited to see me, which was very cool, which made me feel good.
Yeah, I bet. I'm fucking jealous, so.
You got to come to the next one, dude.
I will.
It'll probably be at the same place.
Hopefully.
It was such a cool venue. It's so cool.
I'm going to a wedding there next year.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Just imagine a ring in the middle and it'll be like you were there. But no. But yeah, and so we told Effie about Chief thinking it was Gay Championship Wrestling. And Effie said, hey, it could be. Maybe it should be. Maybe I'll try to buy it off Brett.
he said that to him.
He said that to him, yeah.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
It was awesome.
Shit's hilarious.
Finally, we got to meet MV in person. I tried to when they were going to do the No Ring show at the Rock Room that got shut down, which happened like a fucking week after the Polyam Woodstock got shut down. And it's so hilarious. Because of that, I can't spoil this. He is no longer using I Touch Myself as his entrance music. He is now using the song Renegade.
Nice.
Because he's a wanted man. All his shows keep getting shut down.
Right. That's awesome.
It's amazing. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Got to meet a lot of people. A lot of people agreeing maybe to do interviews. Look out for some stuff like that. Got to talk to a lot of people. Had a really good, at-length conversation with MV Young. I don't want to recount everything, but it was very cool to meet him, and he's a very cool person. And Effie is possibly the nicest wrestler I've ever met. But yeah, it was just great. Enjoy wrestling. Night Moves will be cut into segments and will be Canned Heat Season 3. So look out for that on their YouTube and on Twitter at Enjoy Wrestle.
Yes. Now, before we let you all go, Inside the Indies will probably be this week. I don't know what I'm going to cover because this weekend is jam-packed with awesome shows like Impact Knockout Show, GCW Fight Club, and the other one.
The Aftermath.
Is
that what it's called?
I think so. You had West Coast Pros anniversary show, No Leaf Clover.
JCW just did a show today, too.
Yeah. There was Hybrid, Aces Low.
That JCW show had the Everett Corners and Charles Mason cage match.
Yeah. And JJ Garrett against somebody. Oh, man.
Baby Steiner. But not the real Baby Steiner. Braun Breaker's the Baby Steiner. But we're not allowed to talk about that for some reason.
But I mean, there's just so much. Plus, there was that Stardom show. There's a Noah show. There's just so much fucking wrestling, and my schedule is a little tight right now. But hopefully that will be there. Also, a great friend of the show, Chip Woods, came up with an idea for a show. We are going to bring it to life.
A few weeks.
And he will be on to do the first episode. It's called Booker Man. It's basically armchair booking or fantasy booking show. And the last time we fantasy booked, we got a lot of good stuff on that, so I'm excited about that. This upcoming week, we are doing a watch-along, New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's an old one. It's New Japan against UWF.
I think it's a 97 or 96 match.
Yeah.
I love those 90s. I love the 90s.
Let me look real quick.
I've really been enjoying the 90s New Japan matches that I've been watching.
Yeah. It's great to go back and watch stuff that you never seen before.
History.
Yeah. Why did I do that? Let me see here. This is what you get when you watch Armbar Audio. I hate how so many people say Armbar Radio.
A lot of people.
Warren's done it. Dean's done it. Like almost everyone, when we go on a show, somebody else's show says Armbar Radio, and it's we
should just rename it.
But Armbar Audio sounds so much better.
A lot of people do say Armbar Radio, though. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really bother us. Just
No.
our logo's still there.
I mean, those
We know
two
what the
people
show's
that I
called.
named are like close friends of ours.
I mean, Dean and Warren are two real ones, like for real.
I don't know if we could say that because we're not. Whatever. It's gonna be.
A lot of people say real one.
It's Shinya Hashimoto against Nobuhiko Takada from 1996. This is on the New Japan World, so hopefully you guys get ready and watch along with us. It's going to be a good time. And with that, wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, noon, or night, you have a great one. Peace and love to all of you.
To all of you.
Bang!